Yo. Oh wait, I don't want to hear myself. Oops. What's poppin'? Also, I'm not a hat person. What is up, people? We'll just put this right here. There we go. I have something cool to look at. How are we doing? As you can see, we finally have a media player. Oh, that would have been horrible. We finally have a media player. I think it's a little bit too big, but whatever. How are we doing tonight? What are the vibes? Trying to check some stuff. It's been a hot minute since I've actually gotten on here, so I'm thoroughly convinced that something is broken between my voice meter and Streamlabs, and I am just too lazy to fix it. So, oh whales. Yeah, I also did something and it was not great, but there we go. Yeah, it changed everything because I was trying to fix it and it just, as always, just completely wiped everything out. So, you know, whatever. But definitely have been on the road, had some super dope fun experiences with that, so that was always cool. Needless to say, I got stuck on the side of the road, so that was really cool and awesome fun. Extremely thankful that there was a police officer blocking a truck and saw me basically struggling on the side of the road, going back and forth trying to get out of a ditch. So he called the guys that were cutting a tree and brought them over to pull me out of a ditch. So that was super cool. And it was so hot and humid. My hair was like an afro. I was like, I know I look crazy, but I need some help, please. But, you know, I guess that's Southern living. And I just realized that there's a gate on voice meter, so we're going to try that out, and hopefully it makes everything sound so much nicer, but we'll see. But yeah, so what's the vibes? What's the layout of the land? Haven't been too much online lately, so haven't really seen anything like musically kind of cool. Actually, I take that back. There is a cool drop that I saw. It's like, if you're only into metal though, not only if you're into metal, but there's a band called Darknet that basically did a rollout with like a PSP, or maybe it's a PlayStation case with like all sorts of game stuff. And I thought that it was super dope. Really good, I guess, album you would call it. Yeah, an album, really cool album. And I'm gonna find it real fast. Indie merchandise. And I plan on buying this once I get all of my stuff straight, but And by stuff straight, I mean I have like a million things that I'm supposed to buy, and I just have not done any of it yet. Um, but yeah, like I have a Bandcamp cart that has been sitting there for like weeks just because I won't like pull the trigger and buy all of these songs and whatnot. But um, that's a lot to read. Yeah. But yeah, so I have so much to do. I mean, the good thing is that the stuff in here is bought. I'm just waiting for it to show up. Um, I've just been traveling, so I've been trying to plan when it gets here. Um, but in my new room, I have all of my stuff just chilling in boxes still. The only furniture that I've bought is a wood like bookcase, and it's super cool. And I bought it right before all the Canadian tariffs and stuff kicked in, so it's like a really cool like. I mean, it's like basic, but it's like real wood and stuff like that. And so far, that's the only thing I bought, and I bought a cool like lamp that does colors. It wasn't here, but I liked it so much that I moved it into my room. But yeah, outside of that, I have so much organization to do that I've been putting off. Like I finally bought stuff to like put all these cases and stuff in there. Um yeah, I've just been like hardcore procrastination whatever. I'm just trying to, get stuff done. I think that's like the moral of the story for like the rest of the summer, but um and then we get back into school, but whatever. Um I will say the greatest thing on my trips is that people have been telling me that I look like I'm 20 years old, and I'm like, that's crazy because like I'm nowhere close to 20. So, I'm like, I would have thought all my gray hairs would have like given that away, but you know, you win some, you lose some, and so far my looks are winning. Um, I will say the thing that's been helping a lot because I also get really bad dark rings are those little like eye things to put under your eyes. They're like cooling pads. Those have been helping the bags under my eyes because I've also like if you travel and you sleep in beds in hotel beds, they're very they can be comfortable, but like for me, I have to have like a specific setup for me to sleep, and I just can't vibe with hotel beds. They're just not a vibe. So, um, that's like the first thing I do is every time I get home, I just sleep for like hours and hours and hours because I hate hotels. I'm at the point where I travel so much that it's just like another hotel, another hotel, another hotel, and it's just lame. But um, yeah, I need to definitely like figure out a way to get more sleep on the road. But outside of that, and outside of being stuck in a ditch, um, gotta say that at least traveling for the most part has been pretty chill, even with all these storms and stuff. Um, like I feel like the worst storm that kind of like came through, I missed it by like literally 2 minutes before it got really, really bad. But outside of that though, back to music. Apparently the AI take that I had was really, really bad. Because the next day, all this other stuff started coming out about Timbaland and what he's been using, uh, uh, and whatnot. So I feel like some of my takes I'm still cool with, but majority of them, I guess, around Timberland specifically are really like I should be taking it back, but who cares, right? And then let's see what else. Um, yeah, I mean, outside of that though, music itself has been pretty boring as of late. Like, there's nothing that's been like remarkable or like worth paying attention to, I guess. Um, uh, but outside of that, I will say that I've been watching the not Club World, yeah, the Club World Cup, and that's actually been pretty fascinating. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than I thought, but um, so far it's actually been super entertaining. The Brazilian teams have definitely come out to play and have been, really taking it to like the European elites, which is pretty phenomenal. So, um, but yeah, like it's just been boring. I don't know. Maybe I've just been kind of like desensitized to a lot of things, but everything just is kind of like boring. It's just kind of like whatever, you know? Like it's even hard to have like a bad take about things because it's just like everything sucks. And on top of that, watching the US play has been a travesty. Like super, super bad. Like I have no faith in the United States men's team this year. Like zero faith. If they pull off a win and win this Gold Cup, that will be absolutely insane. And it's actually really funny also before I get back into music and to my soccer bag. Um like the amount of like shielding around this player, I think his name's Ajiman, like is crazy. Like the guy is not good. Like he can't stay on his feet for more than like 10 minutes without falling. It's actually really atrocious. And the fact that they're trying to compare him to Altidore is even more insane to me. Like imagine playing 5 games and then already being compared to Altidore. It's just like, bro. Like if we had DK, we wouldn't even be talking right now. But he's so injury prone right now that it's like it's a missing piece. The missing piece for the team, or I should say the C team, but whatever. Oh, I know what I was gonna do tonight. Um, so I started I had a little bit. I talked about this like weeks and weeks ago, but what I'm going to do is actually get all of my songs that I have finished together. Um, I gotta upload them to Untitled, which I'm actually doing right now. um, but what I was going to do was I was gonna drop a poll in the Discord server, and let everyone like vote on what I should upload to the, I guess, mousetrap thingy. If I could actually find my music, that'd be great. One day I'm gonna organize things and actually be able to, like, you know, find things. Can you do more than one? Because that'd be really dope. And then also, I'm like having a really hard time seeing lately, which is not great. All right, let's try this out. Let's see if that messes things up. So anyways, we have that. So I'm gonna put that in the Discord server and let everyone vote on that. So, but I did get a question from the homie Smokey. And it was a question on Twitter. And I can't say her name right, so I apologize. But I think it's Azeka. She's a producer and like does all the fashion stuff also. Really cool. But I guess the question was also a genuine question based off of what I'm seeing and hearing from all of my peers. Do you guys like going to clubs anymore? It seems like people just aren't spending money on going out to clubs as much right now. What is worth your money? Outdoor events, artist showcases. Are y'all just burnt out? So it's actually really interesting, and then seeing what producers are kind of saying and whatnot. I kind of feel like it's a very interesting time in specifically electronic music. So if we were to break everything down and kind of like pull from just like experience and stuff like that, which is kind of like more a forte of the internet. But if you actually look at the economic state of everything, we still are not in a great spot. And so when we're talking about entertainment and we talk about like the economy, the first thing that typically goes for people is going to be anything to do with entertainment. Regardless of really, if you aren't in a good spot, like that's the first thing that gets cut. And a lot of people will splurge here and there, but majority of that money, you know, is kind of like excessive for people that don't have that kind of income. So once they cut that out, that means that all the other side of the entertainment is going to get hit, and it already has for the last 4 years now. And so as everyone keeps thinking the economy is going to get better, it's going to get better, yada yada yada. It still is not getting to the point where it's suitable for people to keep doing not what they're supposed to be doing, but to keep people doing what they've been doing. And it also doesn't work when you are battling up against inflation from COVID still, because a lot of that stuff still stems from all the COVID and all the supply chains and all that stuff. So add the issue with all the AI and jobs being taken and whatnot, that also is going to affect people and what, you know, the income that people are going to get. So going out necessarily isn't really a viable option for them anymore. Like I said, you'll have the occasional going out and whatever, but for the most part, people are cutting back. And on top of that, I also think that when we talk about the younger generation and stuff like that, everyone is so much more chronically online that they don't really go out and do things in the world as much. Um, and so it's harder to get the young generation to come out to do things. And on top of that, to be completely honest, I think being on the dance floor and some of the things that I was reading, I just think that some of that stuff, just being around people of that amount of people, um, drunk people, people on their phones, um, that experience isn't really the greatest. And that's not saying all artists or painting this broad stripe of all music and whatever, but for the most part, clubs and venues and stuff like that are having a really, really hard time because the crowds suck. Like, there's no other way to say it, but the crowds suck. So add that to the mix of people going out, and I think that you just are going to have this really, really bad case of, people kind of voting with their dollars, per se, of not necessarily wanting to go out, but unless they do go out, it's going to be a pretty good, um, it's got to be a good spot. It's got to be worth the money. And at the same time, it's got to be, you know, it's got to be a good investment, because on the flip side of that, when we talk about the artist side of things, the costs are so high for, touring, traveling, because a lot of that stuff you don't really get paid up front. You can get a percentage up front, but in order to complete the gig is like a whole other set, to get paid. Um, so a lot of that artists are going to take they're going to get the brunt of it up front and take a loss on it. And some people can't afford that loss. So, that's where it's interesting. And again, and I hate saying this, but that's where Spotify is more useful as a tool, because of the fact that if you can use your listening metrics to your advantage, and you can pinpoint exactly where your largest following is and are, it's easier to plan where you're going and where, what city it is, that you want to hit, more specifically for a show or whatever. But, it's hard. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think anyone really knows, but I think that it's one of those things that it depends on what your goals are, because, you know, again, I live in the South, so I think that even reading an outdoor event, and I also hate going outside, obviously, but going outside and doing an outdoor event, and especially this insane heat, with all of the, tornadic weather that's going on, the flash flooding, why would you want to be outside? The only places you could be outside are LA, New York, and, Florida. But at the same time, it's now almost hurricane season, so you're going to have all the issues with that going on near the coast. So that's going to get really hit hard, because the amount of storms are only going to keep going higher. So outdoor events are kind of like out the window. And I think, what was it, Bonnaroo had to close this year because of the weather. It's like, scratch that one off. Again, if the club isn't good enough, or just doesn't have a good enough service, I think you're a lot more at risk for losing fans for bad, maybe not at risk, but you have a higher risk of not having a great show if the fans aren't having a great time. And if the venue sucks, that's going to make their experience worse. So maybe that's not it either. But again, I think, partially, I think if we're talking about music, and I mean, again, I said this kind of like a month ago or 2 months ago, but I really do think that the metaverse is still something, AR, is still something to play with, even, VR. because of the fact that you can, if you're still building your brand up and you want to have a more uh you know interactive space or something like that you can connect with people, really without borders or anything like that. That's something that you can build upon, and as you kind of like get donations or funding through that, that can help kind of spur on what you want to do IRL. um and the other thing is, I think that there should be more artist show, put as it's put in the artist, or in this quote. I can't talk right now. Um, but I think artist showcases are kind of going to be the next thing, and I think that I was talking about this also on Twitter with a manager that I followed for a long time and have the most respect for. But I think that curation is going to be a huge part of like this next decade, just because there's an oversaturation of music, of artists, of all that kinds of stuff. And I think that the next kind of step in that is an artist showcase where, you have some event and you bring on artists that you like, kind of like a label showcase, but it's more so just things of that nature that you like. And I think that that experience is going to be the next kind of big thing. But again, I think it comes in a lot of this comes down to the economy, and a lot of this comes down to people being able to get money to go to shows, or go to do events like that. It's rough. Obviously there's no right answer for any of that, but and as she said, I'm trying to plan for 2026 with my team. That's the question, is like, how and where is your dollars worth it? Hey pal, I'm eating my meal prep. It's steak, potatoes, and broccoli. That sounds super nice. And sounds quite enjoyable. I had a salad. But I would like to pose a question to y'all. Like, um what do you think A is like the problem with going out, And then B, like, where would you like to see artists that you would like, if you were going to see a show, what would get you out of your house? And then what would make you want to spend money to go see that artist? Um, the only other thing that I didn't include is that, you also have the underground stuff. And I will say that what the American Rejects are doing by doing house shows all across the US is such a smart idea that I think it kind of how do you say encapsulates, um, basically the underground kind of thinking. Like, it's low cost, show up, play music for free, everybody enjoys it, and then get shut down by by the police and then go home. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like, I think the easiest way to have something of that magnitude be cost effective, but also you're only going for the music at that point, because there's no big lights, there's no LED screen, there's no strobe, it's just you're going to go listen to music. So I think that the underground, if anything, is going to be a huge component to music in all aspects. The only uphill battle for that is venues being able to tough it out. Yeah, I'm just going through this tweet, and I think the consensus is that everybody is fucked. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm looking at someone said that tickets for Exchange LA are $125. Like, see, to me, that's insane. But also, I think that like the other side of this is that it kind of how do I say this? Um, I think it gives the artists that are coming up almost like an extra breathing room to try to figure out like how to break into everything a little bit more. Like you can still kind of like expand your online presence more because you're not really worried about the IRL stuff. If anything, it it actually lays a pathway more so for you to focus on building like creative merch or um again like internet experiences or something of that nature, um because of the fact that you don't have to worry about going to show to show to show or trying to schedule out things uh because there's nowhere to go, especially if you're starting and all that jazz. Like, you know if you can get shows with like underground venues and stuff, like that's cool. um you know and if you're in techno like me, that's kind of like the bread and butter, obviously. And obviously I know that with all music and all that stuff, shows are where the money is really at. So that's why I'm saying that more so up and coming people are able to kind of take control more so of online presence because they're not really into the music yet. They are, but they're not where their paychecks and everything rely on the music and stuff. The other thing I was thinking about is like live streaming, like live stream performances, um, uh, almost like pay per views and stuff like that, where, obviously it's the internet, so everyone can get everything. But let's just say if you pay $5 and you can see like a lineup of like 7 people for an all original set or something like that, I think stuff like that would be cool. But like I said, it's a really complex question. There isn't really a solid answer. I think everyone in the industry is still searching for what is the next, what is the play, and I just think that everyone is still trying to figure that out. But good question, Smokey. Good question. Let's take I'm gonna drop that tweet in here. That way, y'all can go voice your opinion, give a shout out, all that jazz. Um, Azeka. I think that's how you say that. Oh, sick. We have all of our songs updated. So I need to drop this in the Discord. Well, actually, probably do it tomorrow. It's a little too late. Um, What is the song called? Oh, not the same. This is a song I actually am thinking about submitting more than any other song that I have. It's just like really aggressive. Now, does it fit at all on that label? Absolutely not, but I also think this was one of the early songs that I did that was all Eurorack design, like the basses and everything. And that's actually my vocal. I'm also not gonna lie, I've been having a ton of fun with like absolutely destroying vocals and stuff like that. More so just using my own stuff, like saying random like phrases or whatever, and then just absolutely obliterating it. I think that's been a huge joy of mine lately. Oh, in other news, uh, Death Stranding dropped today. Did I play the first one? No. Will I probably play the second one? Most likely. Shout out to Kojima. I got my new sweater from Bring Me the Horizon. That's super lit. I also got my X-Men jacket. It is so cool. It's just the pockets are super high, so when you have to put it on, your arms are like this. If you want to use the pockets, but yeah, so I gotta stop buying clothes. I have so many clothes now. It's insane. Like it's like a lot of my shirts are just like either like music shirts now or just like one-offs. And I feel like that is where a lot of my money has gone to lately. It's just shirts and jackets and hoodies. And hoodies. Excuse me. Like I love fashion and stuff like that, but as of now, it's just like I have so many other things to do, and I have so many other things I need to buy. But there's just so many cool shirts. Like everybody is like going crazy with like cool shirts right now. You know? Hmm. Oh, it's also Raw tonight. Yeah, it looks like Mad Chaos tonight, so I might go back and watch it. I haven't watched any WWE in like months. I think it was from the second round of layoffs. I just quit watching. I was like, it ruined it for me, you know? Like, you can't take me out of my element when I start seeing all these people fired. It's like, yo, what? Um anyways, not to get too nerdy, but um also I need to stop saying also. That's I wonder if this would get me popped. Let's try it out. I was thinking about putting together. I'm a little late on this idea, but I'm thinking about putting together an EP pack for like the summertime, even though it's June. But I'm thinking about putting like a 4-pack EP. And then kind of kick off all that with like all the original music and stuff like that the rest of the year. I feel like that would be a cool vibe. Cause like some of my favorite releases for the last year or so have all had like somewhat dope remixes to like kick things off. And I don't know what's been going on with Streamlabs. It is like super different too. I just realized that. Oh well. Whatever. The things you learn. Now, I think we should go Bandcamp exploring. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah. Okay, so far, and as you can see, I also realized that I kind of like spazzed out on like the groups, not the groups, the new packs and everything that you can get in Ableton. Not even new, but turn this down a little bit. I'm breaking the fourth wall. And then we got all this stuff, so that'll be in the Discord server to vote on. But yeah, all the packs and stuff kind of are insane. So I was doing that, and then I'm gonna buy this. But here's what I got so far. So a lot of this stuff is from Raw. I've been really into it, and I'm not gonna play any of it because basically I got copyright all over me the last time I was playing on Bandcamp. So so far I have the Warehouse Romance EP by Endata, and then Chroma by Maza. Boisha is killing it, so I'm gonna grab that. Then I got this Tensic LP, really cool, kind of like actual groovy techno stuff, so we're gonna pick some of that up. And then shout out to the homie Jimmy. I gotta buy this. I'm like 2 years behind, but sometimes you win, sometimes, you know, whatever. Also gonna grab the Obsession track because it's so hard. And then we have the Celestial Vision by Exodia. Really interesting thing, and I think that Annihilate is like the perfect like transitional, like absolute chaos song ever. Like, hold on, I'm gonna pause this. Okay, yeah, so check this out. Oh wait, one ramp, I want that right up here. Oh, is it because I'm covering it? Okay, whatever. But like, I'm gonna play just a little bit. Oh, it's not coming through. Hold on. And I need to turn it down because I just blew my eardrums. I think it's 1. Let's see. And let me get voice meter going so I also don't scare all of you away. Okay. Why is it not coming through? Uno momento, por favor. Oh, I'm dumb. Is this coming through? Yeah. Listen to this. This is absolute chaos. It's insane. Okay, but anyways, you get the point. But I thought that was super, super hard. So we have that in our cart. Okay, so where are we at? The Knuckle Dragger album or EP by Nov Valentina. Super cool, very groovy. Really, really like the vibe of it. I think it's just a great track to have. And then we have like some samples or whatever. And then we have Purr with Please Insert You, I Love You. Really interesting concept. I really enjoyed this like concept that they have going on. It's very like hacker-ish, as you can tell. It gives me a lot of IO vibes, like not necessarily the music, but just the imagery and everything. It's really not even IO. I take that back. It's just computer stuff, but just kind of like the way that it's viewed is ish kind of. But a really cool mix of like kind of like forward thinking tracks and everything like that. So I was like, definitely got to get this. I'm not so sure about the other one that got released. I would probably have to go back and listen to it a little bit more to kind of get like my good thoughts on it. But it's not bad or anything. It just I would have to see if it's my kind of vibe, you know. And then we got a shout out to Crisis of Man, the Scumbag Mansion. Really interesting, like euphoric, kind of like chill out music. So we grabbed that one. And then Echoes of Lust and Truth by Lincoln Ray. Really cool release. So we grabbed that one. And then this leads me to like my new favorite label that I've kind of stumbled upon called Renegade Methods out of Greece. Really, really, really cool label. I love that it bounces between like hard techno, classic techno, and then like also like just like ethereal kind of euphoric techno. It's a really interesting thing, and on top of that, their album covers are like amazing. Like it's super, super cool. So I picked up Eternal by Enlek, Diagonal Prism by Against Me, and then Rework of Our Unity. But I'm probably going to be picking up Bourbon by ANFS. And then Aventus by Eleni Vex and Olympos. Again, super, super cool label. I love everything here, but I kind of want to like buy their Discogs slowly and save my wallet a little bit. So we got that. Yeah, we got that. And then some of the newer releases that I kind of went through and grabbed were the uh, uh, Dr. Junks by West Code. Really groovy stuff. Um, I really like the infusion of like different elements into it, and I kind of also like this like sketch cover. And then, interesting enough, probably the first time I've bought a Swiss. I think it's Swiss. Yeah, something in like Swiss money. um, but I pre-ordered this Atlantica Night Ride, a very groovy track. Very groovy, very cool, and all that stuff. So that's what we have right now. I kind of was going through some of this stuff. Some of it just it's cool, but not my vibe. I think I like this one. And I love, and maybe this is just a personal taste also, but I love when tracks in the beginning are just like these like atmospheric kind of things. So I'm probably gonna pick this one up. I'm gonna listen to it a couple more times, but I love the album cover. And then what else? Also, I love and hate Bandcamp. It's one of my favorite kind of like almost crate digging kind of find places, but the UI is absolutely horrible and I hate it. I think I'm gonna buy this one, the Quantum Leap EP by LPV. I'm probably gonna buy this because I love this label a lot. Nitubosa. And I love Obscure Shapes. Yeah, I'm probably gonna grab that too. But like, I hate this layout for stuff on Bandcamp. It just kills my vibe. And then the only other place that you can go to kind of find things are in the Messenger, but like, it's like lame. But yeah, so if like anybody has any good recommendations for anything on Bandcamp, please let me know. Also in the Discord on New Finds, that's kind of where I've been like plotting all of my stuff out for like what I want to pick up and whatnot. But if y'all find anything cool, please drop it in the New Finds. Because I need some more music so I can put more mixes together. Because I am behind on those too. And anyone who DJs knows that you can never have too much music ever in the history of ever and whatnot. So, what else do we have going on tonight? Maybe, just maybe, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up this plugin. Do I need it? Absolutely not. But I feel like it would be a vibe to have, you know? I hate that everything in music is kind of like all vibe. Like you have to have a good vibe with it or you're just screwed, you know? I guess necessarily you don't need to do that, but how could you not? Oh, that's why there's no music. Where I hear that. And I have to clean up this file. Oh. I also got copyright struck for playing my own music too. I forgot about that. Make sure, kids, that if you play your own music, that your channels are whitelisted to play your own music. So that way you don't have problems. No problems. But yeah, so in terms of music and everything like that, like I said, there's like not really anything that's been like super like cool to me personally. You know, all the shows and stuff, the closest one that was of any like big note was I get Bonnaroo closing. Bonnaroo. Yeah, Bonnaroo canceling was probably like the biggest news and music of it just not working out. Also, I gotta say, things I need to do in 2025. Stop saying and stop saying also. I don't know where this also thing started for me, but it has to stop. It's so annoying. It's even like even when I text now, everything starts with also, and I don't know why, and I hate it. Tips on trying to curb saying and also. Please put it in the chat. Like, I need to stop. Ay, ay, ay. How I don't understand what people's gimmick is to like mess with like famous people. I don't get it. Like apparently the guy that like choked Theo Vaughn just like made a response or something. I don't get it. It's just like why? It's almost like people want to try to get people canceled or do something to get themselves canceled. I just don't get it. Oh, I have one other thing I wanted to talk about. Um, so one of my favorite franchises is Silent Hill, and they have a live, not a remake, but a live action film of the game. And apparently, some behind the footage stuff came out, and it made it look horrific, like super low quality and all that jazz. I will say that I'm praying that that movie, and it was just someone that took it off, you know what I mean, behind the scenes photo, um, makes that movie not look bad, you know, or just like, you know, like a legit behind the scenes thing. Because if that movie comes out horrible, I'm gonna be so sad. Like, I love Silent Hill, and the fact that they even got the budget to like make a live remake for it. I just need things to work out. Mm, mm. But I'm very excited for that Silent Hill. Uh, but I think it's called F. It looks like wicked. Like, and I know some of the marketing stuff is like to make the games like uber scary. You know, like when the voice actors came out and said I was like uh haunted for like weeks or something. Like, obviously I get that's like the marketing stuff and whatnot, but um I just need everything in that franchise to work, so that way we get the first and the third remade. Life would be great. Mm. I will say I'm really, really happy with my Twitter timeline right now. It is just nothing but art. That's all I've been staring at. It's just art. It's phenomenal. I can't remember the last time my whole feed was just art. Mm-mm-mm. So nice. Wait, did Miami win tonight? Wait a second. So not only did they win, they qualified. Well, guess there's a reason why they got picked to go, I guess. Whatever. All right, we're recycling now. Okay. Um. But outside of that, I just hope everyone in music can find a lane to figure out a nice lane to get some money, and I hope to see more artists use the digital realm. I can't talk. Oh my god. I hope more artists are using the digital realm in order to start um, really envisioning what the artist path looks like. Um, Maybe in this kind of new evolution of music. So I'm interested. I'm excited for it. I hope it makes more people more creative. It brings the most out of people. And on top of that, it just allows the creatives to kind of take over a little bit more than what has been the norm for like the last decade. So, but um, I think that's all I got for tonight. I would just wanted to jump on, get on a little stream, see what's been popping on, going on. I also am losing my voice again, so that's the other reason I got to jump off. So hopefully tomorrow when we get on, we can actually work on some tracks, and all that stuff, and whatnot. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining tonight, hanging out with me tonight. And how is it always this song comes on as I'm signing off? Whatever. But I hope y'all have a great rest of your night. I hope you get some rest. And then if you're watching this on the replay, I hope you're having a great day, morning, afternoon, or whatever time. So if you would like to join the Discord, it is discord.gg/houseofdoll. And that is where you can find me almost nearly 24 hours of the day, along with all the music and stuff like that, art, and just other like-minded people. So with that being said, I will catch you on the flip side. And until the next time, I'll see you later.
Look at and tell me how much hope remains.